The new My Playford mobile app is here. You can now stay up to date with the latest council news and info, set bin reminders, make online payments and send through your customer requests, all in one place and at the touch of a button.
Download the free My Playford app today for your iPhone or Android device. Is it time to do a big clean-up around the house? We can help get rid of your unwanted items with a hard waste collection. You can book Norma to pick it up from your front yard up to 2 times per financial year, or you can choose a voucher and take it to Norma yourself. They'll even lend you a trailer for free.
To make a booking, call Norma on 8259 2100. Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our fortnightly e-newsletter Playford News at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
COVID-19 has been a difficult time for us all, and the health and safety of our community is our first priority. As a council, we want you to know we are still here and doing our best to continue delivering services to you.
Our website outlines all the latest information about facilities, programs and services. Just visit playford.sa.gov.au.
Responsible pet ownership is about looking after your best mate. By law, all dogs must be registered when they reach 3 months of age, or within 14 days of being on a new property, or if they have changed ownership.
Registering your dog means they are given every opportunity to be returned to you if they ever get lost. And if your dog is desexed, microchipped and trained, you receive a discount.
Registrations are renewed between the 1st of July and the 31st of August each year and can be done online at dogsandcatsonline.com.au.
Did you know you can view your rates notice online at Playford Online Services? Simply register for an online account by visiting our website at playford.sa.gov.au and searching Playford Online Services. Once you've registered, you can request to have your rates notice delivered to your device or computer.
Prefer to watch and learn? We've created some simple videos to show you how to register for an account, view your rates notices and set up direct debit. Simply search for Playford Online Services via the Playford website for more information. That website again, playford.sa.gov.au.
Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning projects, services and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you. The new My Playford mobile app is here. You can now stay up to date with the latest council news and info, set bin reminders, make online payments and send through your customer requests, all in one place and at the touch of a button.
Download the free My Playford app today for your iPhone or Android device. Is it time to do a big clean-up around the house? We can help get rid of your unwanted items with a hard waste collection. You can book Norma to pick it up from your front yard up to 2 times per financial year, or you can choose a voucher and take it to Norma yourself. They'll even lend you a trailer for free.
To make a booking, call Norma on 8259 2100. Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our fortnightly e-newsletter Playford News at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
COVID-19 has been a difficult time for us all, and the health and safety of our community is our first priority. As a council, we want you to know we are still here and doing our best to continue delivering services to you.
Our website outlines all the latest information about facilities, programs and services. Just visit playford.sa.gov.au.
Councillors, if we could just take our seats and we'll just commence in a moment. Okay, I think that's everyone. Good evening to you all and welcome to tonight's Strategic Planning Committee meeting. I hereby open the meeting at 7 o'clock and I call for a list of apologies. I believe Councillor Norris and Councillor Gossink are apologies. Are there any other apologies? No. Councillor Coppins is here via Zoom. Councillors, just before I proceed further, I just want to make a point of the lights, the system that we have in place. I'm going to turn to each one of you when you turn your light on, so I want us to utilise the system if we can. So I'm moving on to agenda item number 2, the confirmation of minutes. We've got a recommendation there that the minutes of the Strategic Planning Committee meeting held on the 13th of October 2020 be confirmed as a true and accurate record of proceedings. Do I have a mover?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Craig, seconded by Councillor Stroitt. Do we have any discussion in relation to that or any questions? There being none, I'll put that to a vote. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that carried. Item number 3, declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest? There being none, moving on to item 4, deputation representations, which are nil. Moving on to item number 5, staff reports. 5.1, the adoption of the City of Playford Annual Report 2019 and 20 with the listed attachments on page 6 of our agenda. I've got a staff recommendation there. Would anyone like to move the staff recommendation? Councillor Smallwood-Smith, wish to move that way? Can you just turn on your light? All right. So, yeah, well, just for now, I'll, as I said, just please turn on your light. So, Councillor Smallwood-Smith.
Yeah, it's on now.
Sure.
Yes, and I don't wish to speak, thank you.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Onyzans.
Yes, I'm happy to second the motion.
Thank you. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor?
This would be posted via our media, website, isn't it? I just have a few...
questions? Yeah.
No questions, maybe a comment. Perhaps it's comprehensively done and I like it, but obviously I'm just thinking about our community. I would have loved to see it with definite sort of points, like just showing the key core outcomes in 2019 to 2020, perhaps a heading and then maybe a series of comments which would perhaps would say, well, we've successfully implemented this and that, successfully reviewed and implemented, etc., etc., something like that. I would love to have seen something like that actually in the report, which is more clearer to understand for our community, and maybe include as well the previous annual reports, maybe not necessarily saying what's in there, but just putting the title that this is the annual reports for 2018 to 2019, 2017 to 2018, 2016 to 2017, about 4 years at least, for the community to be able to see the progression of whatever we have done as a council. So yeah, that's just a comment that maybe could be taken note later. Next
thank you,
year
Councillor.
next time.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. Do we have any comments to make in relation to that, Mr. Green, or are we happy with that?
Thank you, through the chair. Thanks, Councillor Onyazans. It's really good feedback. We've certainly tried to capture the achievements of the council over the last 12 months throughout the document. I understand that maybe in some areas it was more wordy than perhaps as succinct that you're talking about. We'll certainly take that on board for future annual reports. And I guess with comments around referencing previous annual reports and the progression, given that we generally will just report on the year that's been, is why we haven't referenced previous reports, but they can be accessed via our website. But again, a good piece of feedback for us if there are certain areas for us to show progression over the years as a council. So thank you, appreciate those comments.
Thank you, Councillor. Does anyone, Councillor Ryan, thank you.
Yeah, just a comment on May. Firstly, to Megan Howard, the author of this report, and all the staff that had any involvement at all. It's a fantastic document, it really is, and obviously a lot of hours must go into it. To them, firstly, to thank them for their efforts. The other thing on page 176 is a comment from the independent chair and the CEO. I would have thought that the councils involved would have received a bit more kudos with COVID-19 and the extra input the councils put in. I would have thought within their comments there would have been some mention of that. So having said that, it is a great document, really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Any further feedback, questions? There being none, Councillor Smith, I'll give you the opportunity to close if you wish. Councillor Smallwood-Smith, sorry, if you wish to close the motion.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'll put that committee recommendation to a vote. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that carried. Moving on to item 5.2 on page 225, Strategic Plan Update November 2020. We have a staff recommendation. Deputy Mayor Baker, would you like to move that motion?
Move the recommendation, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Would you like to speak to that?
Just to say that it's interesting on page 240 and 241 to see the number and the amount of grant applications that have gone through and the ones that we've been received. I don't think we've ever actually seen that before, and that's an excellent description in there. Thank you.
Councillor Baker, good observation, and certainly like to spend time talking about that. That's actually part of the next item on the agenda. The advocacy report, but getting ahead of yourself, but you're welcome to repeat that again in a moment, though.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Fantastic, jumping the gun. Councillor Onyazans, would you like to second that motion?
Yes,
or would you like to speak to it?
No, thank you. I'm happy with
thank
the
you.
report.
Okay. Would anyone else like to speak for that motion or against the motion? Any questions in relation to that? There being none, I'll put that to a vote. Those in favour? Those against? I declare that motion carried. Now, 5.3, Deputy Mayor Baker, you can speak now. I'll hand over to you. So 5.3, advocacy update, sorry, staff recommendation.
Yeah, happy to move that way, and it's very good to see the amount of grants that we've taken on.
Fantastic. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And Councillor Straw, you're seconding the motion?
Yes, please.
Would you like to speak to that?
No, thank you.
Okay, any questions? Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, just got a couple of questions. Are we able to, or when will we, get an understanding of any projects that might go forward for the recently announced $100 million that state government could be providing as a co-contribution to any local government projects that are shovel-ready. So just the first one, have we got any specific projects on mind, or are we going to find out?
Yeah, good question, Councillor Marsh.
Thanks, Councillor Marsh. A couple of things, councillors. This is obviously a really opportunistic period for us when it comes to grant funding, and you would have heard announcements recently at the federal level and also more recently at the state level. There are lots of good opportunities for us. We are going to hold a special interest group next Thursday night to give you a bit of background about how we approach grants, etc. So that'll give you some good background information, but recognising that you're not all able to attend the special interest group meetings because of the time, we will also need to be bringing through to you for some decisions before the end of the year where we think that grant funding should be allocated to. We've started to turn our mind to that internally, and we will come to you as we have previously and ask you for to endorse a recommendation from us about where we'll spend, or where we'll seek to achieve funds, and the funds that we have got, where we'll spend those, and we'll give you options about how you might choose to do that like we've done previously.
Thank you, Mr. Green. A follow-up question,
Yeah,
Councillor Marsh?
and the follow-up one is in regards to the collation of advocacy topics that are related to the City of Playford. We've obviously seen a particular party quite active in certain areas of the City of Playford. So are we going to get an update potentially on any projects that have been put forward for large campaign sort of commitments by the parties?
Thank you. Mr. Green, perhaps, or Mr. Pattinson? Thank you.
Just to clarify that, so that's around the election campaign itself. So the report did touch on the work that we are doing around the election campaign in terms of actually pulling together a prospectus document, which I suppose outlines some of the the key issues for the City of Playford, Curtis Road, Grove, Suringa Townships, business grants, as Councillor Rufi has talked to me about previously, Gawler River, etc. That document will be used in terms of having discussions with a whole range of stakeholders. So over the coming 18 months, we do want to go and see all of our members, all of the candidates, but we also need to be having meetings with the appropriate ministers and shadow ministers to have those conversations, as well as key bureaucrats as well. I think in terms of advocacy efforts, you actually need to see this as an ongoing conversation. So elections are only a point in time, but the reality is you actually need to have these conversations day in, day out, and actually positioning the City of Playford, making sure that the City of Playford's issues are actually in front and centre of the bureaucrats and the politicians throughout the time. Tackling it a couple of months before the election, you won't actually achieve anything.
Thank you, Mr. Benson. Councillor Reefy, you might have to wait there, Mr. Benson.
My question is in relation to the election prospectus. Any time frame on when will that be finalised, Greg?
So we're working through a final draft at the moment, so hopefully next month at the latest. Yep.
Any further questions, debate, discussion? There being none, Councillor Baker, I'll give you the opportunity to close if you so wish. I will then put that motion to a vote. Those in favour, those against, I declare that carried. Right, now moving on to item 6, informal discussion. There is nil. 7, informal actions, nil. 8, confidential matters, there are nil. Therefore, I'll close the meeting at 12 minutes past 7. Thank you.
Responsible pet ownership is about looking after your best mate. By law, all dogs must be registered when they reach 3 months of age, or within 14 days of being on a new property, or if they have changed ownership.
Registering your dog means they are given every opportunity to be returned to you if they ever get lost. And if your dog is desexed, microchipped and trained, you receive a discount.
Registrations are renewed between the 1st of July and the 31st of August each year and can be done online at dogsandcatsonline.com.au.